California is run by Democrats and Democrat policies. This is not fake, although I kind of wish it was. Luckily, we got time to fix it. Democrats are letting males who identify as females in the female prison. I'm not lying. Let's watch. I'm not lying.
Richard J. Donovan Correctional Facility, which is a male institution.
California has passed legislation allowing transgender inmates in the state's correctional facilities to be assigned housing based on their gender identity.
That's when the males started, by the numbers, identifying themselves as females, to the point where we were now giving them transgender identification cards so that they can purchase female products at the canteen, such as moo-moos, makeup, bras, tampons.
In September, California Governor Gavin Newsom signed Senate Bill 132 into law.
We had to transfer male inmates to female institutions. Oh, they were excited. They were like kids in a candy store. They knew they were going from a men's prison to a female's prison. And we would watch them take off in the bus. I joined the Army at the age of 17, deployed to Iraq in 2004, got out, and that's when I began my career with the California.
Thank you for your service.
Department of Corrections in 2006. I did a total of 16 years, and then I resigned on December 1st, 2022. The transgender implementation was one of many things happening in the California Department of Corrections that drove me to leave.
Many things happening.
I had all these accolades, and the last year I left, I made $157,000. I have a daughter, I have a home, 2 vehicles. It was a sacrifice, for sure.
He's a man. It's a man right there.
So when the Department of Corrections started doing all this implementation, they had an ISU sergeant, an investigative service unit sergeant, give the whole prison a class on how we will now be calling the inmates by the pronoun that they would like to be called as. You know, of course, a lot of questions arise. I mean, this was all news to us. And being in a prison is kind of like, you know, we're really going to prioritize this right now when we got a lot of other stuff going on. And that was my introduction, the whole, no, you absolutely will refer to them by the pronoun that they want to be. And that was the beginning. And then it just went full throttle. You did have your legitimate individuals that identified as transgenders. You could tell when they would alter their shirts to be like tube tops, alter their boxers to be like panties, cut the inside of it.
It's one. Okay, so like with the transgender thing in the prison, why are they always making like the sexuality of a woman, like with the tube tops? And there's like so much more to being a woman, I would think. They give babies. They don't just wear tube tops. That's how you. Okay, makes sense. All right.
Like tube tops, alter their boxers to be like panties, cut the inside of a Dorito bag because it's nice and silver and make little earring stars, and Kool-Aid, make lipstick. However, when the state of California, the Department of Corrections, gave them the full authorization to do as they pleased, you had everybody jump on that program. A lot of non-authentic and a lot of manipulation of the system. Oh, it was obvious. They were telling us, this is what we're doing. Why not? A male inmate identifying as a female can now pick and choose to have a female perform an unclothed body search of them. So now you have females looking at the male body parts, and the inmates are demanding it. There was a male inmate housed in CTC, the hospital inside of a prison at Donovan. He was scheduled to have a sex realignment surgery in Beverly Hills. I mean, they're getting top of the line
Hold on,
surgery.
time. I'm sorry. Did he just say he had scheduled? He's in prison. How does he have them? Is that his nails? They're like perfectly manicured. How does he have money? Those nails are perfect. And he's in prison. And he's getting surgery while in prison? Man, stop looking at me like that. What?
He was scheduled to have a sex realignment surgery in Beverly Hills. I mean, they're getting top of the line surgery by taxpayer money. He was bragging about, when I come back, I'm gonna prostitute myself on the yard. I'm gonna make money. The individual comes back, and then there was complications with the surgery. So then he turns around and sues the state, saying they purposely gave him a faulty surgery. The way that the California Department of Corrections is, they will always settle. This has gone on for way too long, and there is some damage that has been done. You guys have to be aware of what is actually happening, where your taxpayers' monies are going, how people's voices and cries for help are being suppressed through means of retaliation, corruption. It's dangerous. It's downright dangerous. I was actually probably the first person to step out and speak on it, and I can only hope that more follow suit.
What about the housing of male inmates in female prisons, right, that are alleging they're transgender, and they're manipulating the system to take advantage and take what they want? Something needs to drastically change in CDCR, and that change needs to start at the top.
So I resigned
Governor.
prior to my retirement age of 50, 12 years sooner. Earlier, it wasn't in the cards, it wasn't in the plan. The plan was to do a full career, lengthy career, and retire and collect a pension. However, when things became dangerous, when people's lives were being affected and jeopardized, this is something I learned in the Army, from my leaders in the Army. You put the troops' safety first and foremost. As we're speaking right now, you have male inmates housed in female prisons, and God knows what's happening in those walls and in those cells. I'm not talking about things in the past. I'm talking about what's happening now, and this is why I left. Some of them are in there for sex crimes. They were excited because California, the Department of Corrections gave them a perfect storm to be able to exploit their sexual predatory behaviors. That's unethical, that's immoral, that's dangerous. Victimization of legitimate female inmates. And every time a female inmate would try to voice their complaints or their concerns for the victimizations, they would be retaliated against.
I couldn't imagine being in a situation where nobody can hear you, right? Where everything you say is getting shut down.
Prison is a microcosm of what's actually happening in the world. It's a smaller version. It's exactly what's happening to society, right? And we're watching this as a whole. I was born in 1984.
81.
Changes. I have a 5-year-old daughter. I don't want her to grow up in a world that's currently backwards or upside down. You know, and I explained to my 5-year-old daughter, hey, daddy works around monsters. These are monsters. So you give them a green light and a pass to go into these women's facilities, they're chomping at the bits. And the role of a correctional officer, you know, they're simply there opening and unlocking gates. They know it's not right. They know in their heart it's not right. They reach out to me. I mean, it doesn't sit well. See, their job is not to stop the individual from going into there. That he's already been approved through the proper chains to be able to let, you know, the wolf go into the chicken's den.
We gonna
The
stop that.
administration and the powers that be, in my 16 years experience, has always put political agendas, personal gain, over common sense, morals, values, ethics. However, There's also a moral code. There's also an obligation to protect the ones in our custody. They are inmates in our custody. And if you're purposely putting a predator amongst prey, so to say, I don't gotta tell you what's gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen.
Hold up. Hold. That there is an example of a man. See, not only did he lose his job, like he quit his job, he lost his money. But he's not shutting up either. This is crazy. I bet you Democrats, if you really knew what was going on, you wouldn't want this. And this state is run by Democrats. Its policies are Democrats. We're going right into the next video, but I'm going to cut this one here. We're going to see the policies spoken by the people that made the policies at a judiciary hearing. This is wild. You got men in a women's jail, inmates getting sex changes with taxpayers' money. Do we not care about our money? Do we not care about any, like, what do we care about? Maybe it's just because we don't know what's going on. Pay attention. Man, we gotta